Can y'all see me?
Can y'all see me?
Greetings.
Greetings.
I'm so excited. This is my first live in a while, so I'm trying to keep my composure and look in the camera, especially for anybody who is watching any type of playback. But I can't hold my excitement because we're here together and it's live. Ah! I don't know if any of y'all. Okay, wait, actually, let me read some of the chat. I asked y'all as this was loading. Sorry, I'm getting feedback. Let me mute that. I asked y'all as this was loading where you are watching this from. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of this. Alana Marie said Massachusetts. Let's see. Mercy said, hello, all watching from Los Angeles, California. What's up, Mercy? I'm seeing from Elizabeth Noyes, Atlanta, Georgia. What's good in Atlanta? Love y'all. I'm seeing Louisiana, Wisconsin, Florida. Okay, first of all, I want to thank y'all for coming, considering the time difference and all of the things. I'm actually in Mountain Time right now, but I assume that a lot of people would be in Pacific Standard Time or Eastern or Central. I don't know. So, anyway, okay, let's do. Before I get overly excited, let me chill. I have a whole itinerary for our live tonight. So let me go ahead and pull that up one moment. How are y'all feeling with this music? I wanted to have some vibey music. Can you even hear it? Okay, I'll let y'all answer that as I put together. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Awesome. Okay. It's a vibe. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Marie. Okay, you can hear it. Perfect. I found this music and I wanted it to feel chill and vibey because I want this evening to be relaxing. And yeah, okay, I found my sort of outline for tonight. So, first off, my intention for tonight is for us to go live and to create the first and hopefully one of many to go continue. Um, one of many to continue a live stream in an online space where we can share our highlights, our challenges, our lessons from the previous year, and hopefully feel a little less alone, but then also maybe get motivated from one another through sharing our intentions for the year ahead. And my intention is to hopefully do this even in the spring during the real new year, the zodiac new year as well, to hopefully get some motivation um, as well, so we can kind of reflect seasonally as well. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and check the chat. Love the music choice. Cool, we vibing. Okay, awesome. So next up, I want to do a few housekeeping measures for this live. So if you are watching this either live right now or you're watching this back, either way, it will be very helpful for you to open up the live chat feature because throughout tonight, I will be posting all of the writing prompts. So if you have your Auralign Astrology Planner, you can go ahead, the prompts will be in there. But whether you have it or not, whatever, you actually don't need it. You can use a notebook, and I will be putting the prompts there. So that is important. Also, I will be adding links to any photos, anything that's relevant. Okay, so another housekeeping thing. I wrote this down, so I'm just going to read it. So though we are reflecting on the year and getting new year intentions clearly and all that stuff, this live is not necessarily for creating like unsustainable and even potentially stressful resolutions. That's not what this is for. I'm really hoping through this, that we can get clear on our intentions, but maybe not put so much pressure on ourselves to be a brand new person on day one, just like we see through the seasons. And just as we see on the earth, the phases of the moon as well. It's not full moon and then new moon. There are phases to change. There are phases to the seasons. And we are just like nature. So the expectation that we are going to go from night to day isn't always very sustainable for a lot of us and can often lead to sometimes, I don't know, just feeling, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm stressed because we're alive and I'm seeing the chat, but it can just lead to us feeling stressed and also internalizing it and thinking that there's something wrong with us. And a part of the intention of creating the Auralign Planner and doing this live and my videos is to remind y'all that we are just like the Earth's phases. We are a part of the Earth, and there are phases to everything, and that's okay. So I just want to preface that. Next up, I also want to tell you our general, thank you. I see Tracial West, inadequate. That's the word that I was looking for as well. So the general schedule for this evening. So part one is reflecting. We will be reflecting on 2022, reflecting on highlights, challenges, all the things. We'll be journaling together and then sharing. Part two will be intention setting. Part three will be a guided visualization of what we have gotten clear on in terms of our intentions for the new year. And then part four will be a Q&A. So any questions you might have, maybe about the Auralign Planner, maybe any questions you might have about intention setting, different tactics, anything like that. And then optionally, this is optional, but if y'all are interested, I have some Oracle deck cards, so maybe we can pull some. And that is the itinerary. So that's basically it. So let's get started. So before we get started, I just want to check in with y'all. How are we feeling? How has this tail end of December been for you? Have you had a break? Are we working? Like, let's talk in the chat and I'll read some of them off. So while you guys are answering, the end of the year was a little stressful, fulfilling the planners and all that. But now that I've caught up with those, it's been a lot more chill. And I don't know if anybody else can relate, but it's felt kind of hard winding down from being in work mode and I've had to constantly remind myself, like, no, you can rest. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Okay, Sophie, I see you put working too much. Understandable, too much in winter. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see Melody said on a break before the winter semester. I'm graduating in the spring. Let's go. Congratulations, Melody. Oh, also, you might see a cat in some of these videos. That is Holly and or Coco. Oh, Simone said exhausted, not gonna lie. Understandable. Baby, like this is hibernation season and I feel like everybody's having us work too much. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm okay. The chat is like fast forwarding, so I'm going to scroll up to go to the top. Okay. B Tone 03 said very emotional, depressing at times, and also grateful for what I've accomplished. Understandable. It's just there's a lot comes up during the holidays, whether it's from the stress or family members or feeling like our energy is being pulled in too many directions. Like it's understandable. So, okay, Madi Bree said, I had a nice break, ready to dive into some newfound hobbies. Okay, and work in the new year. That sounds really nice. Okay, Tavanya, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You said, feeling a little blah, but taking it slow. Okay. Lyric said, amazing. I am in one of the counties in Atlanta without water. Oh my gosh. So that caused a little stress, but I've just left it to God at this point. Gave me a great appreciation of resources. Man, that is understandable. By the way, I'm gonna figure out how to have like comments pop up on the screen. I'm new to all this because I want y'all to read it too. And yeah, let's see. I'm gonna read like two more and then we'll get into these journal prompts. So let's see. Um, Alana Marie. Uh-oh, it updated and I lost you, Alana. I'm sorry. I don't know this man. I am sorry to this man. Anyone remember that audio from Kiki Palmer? Okay. Okay, Mama Joy Joy said December has been calming and peaceful overall. I feel like when I'm going to be real with y'all. I feel like when I force myself to chill and my body actually vibrationally matches that chillness, I actually calm down. I do feel that peace. But it's a process kind of getting there. I don't know. But it's there. And it is what we all deserve. It's our human right, you know what I mean, to like access that. Anyway, Okay, Ashley Vasquez says, I have not had a break from housework, so I'm tired, but I'm excited for what's to come. I feel that. Okay, Keshia Young said, been stagnant spiritually and exhausted from work transition. Can we talk about that? Okay, I'm going to wait for us to talk about that more as we go on, but the conversation behind spiritual practice and that coexisting with our work life and with social media distractions, and how do we find that center regularly? You know what I mean? So I feel you on that. Okay. Okay. Wait, I'm seeing laughing emojis and I don't know why I'm so behind. Oh my god. Okay, Prishka says we'll have to check this live out later because it's 3:30 a.m. in Paris. My bad, y'all. Yeah, we're going to figure it out. Okay. I'm glad we answered those. I'm glad we got to catch up a little bit. Let's go ahead and move on to the reflecting section. So, I'm going to go ahead, let me grab a link. So, for anybody, for everyone with their Auralign Astrology Planners, I invite you to flip over to the Winter Reflections page. It's the Winter Reflections page. It's near the beginning of the planner. And I invite you to flip over there because we are going to look at the Holistic Health Wheel. Now, if you don't have your Auralign Astrology Planner, I am putting in the live chat right now a link that you can go to access all of the Holistic Health Wheel areas. So all the areas of holistic health. So how about you put a heart emoji in the chat once you have flipped to the page or once you have opened up the link. I will wait. Again, we are flipping over to the Winter Reflections section of the Auralign Planner to start. I'm seeing the hearts. Yes! Yo, I'm trying. Who else can relate to this? I feel like there's so many spiritual people online who are so zen and they're like, flip to this page and like, but I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to finally be live and for us to do this together. Okay, I'm seeing the hearts. Let's move on. So, first thing that we're going to do, I invite you to look at the Holistic Health Wheel. And I'm going to just briefly go over the 9 areas of holistic health, and then I will offer you the prompt. So, the first area of holistic health is social health. So that's communication, connection with community and family. There's physical health, spiritual health, financial health, emotional health, nutritional health, occupational health, and environmental health. I'm going to go ahead and next share the writing prompt. Now, if you have your Auralign planner, all of these prompts are in the planner. I have skipped over 1 or 2 of the questions, and I invite you to come back in your free time and do that on your own. So, the first question is, after looking at this holistic health wheel, what areas within the holistic health wheel do you feel most satisfied by and why within 2022? So I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to pin the question. So, what areas within the holistic health wheel have satisfied you most and why? Now, I'll give you time. I'm going to go ahead and be quiet. And I've already written in mine, but I'm going to go ahead and review it. Oh, yes. Thank you, Sarah Blankenbaker. It's page 16 in the digital planner. I apologize. We do have digital planners, and it is on that page. And this is, again, the winter reflection page in the planner. Oh, K2 Dejib said, I'm so jelly, I'm only able to listen. Okay, I'll be quiet, y'all. Let's go ahead and journal. I read your comment, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Thank you. Okay, Melody Balos asked, are we supposed to rank the areas within the holistic health wheel from 1 to 10 yet, or is that next? So I actually decided to skip that for this live because it's a little harder to translate that for anybody who doesn't have the planner. But I do think that filling this out first will still be helpful. And then when you circle back, it will actually bring up even more ideas. I actually did this. I put this into practice a few days ago to see how it would work. So I hope that that answers your question, Melody. Diana, yes, you can do this in your 2023 planner. It's under the Winter Reflections page. Okay. Maybe I've been talking too much, but I'm going to go ahead and ask. Go ahead and put a heart emoji in the chat if you have finished journaling. If you need more time, just don't put a heart. No rush. Awesome. There will be a replay for this live. Twisted asked if there would be a replay for this. Oh, yeah, if you missed the first 15 minutes. So, just a quick recap for anybody who is new. I did a little intro, and we are on the first writing prompt, which is pinned in the live chat area. So, if you're watching this, open the live chat and you will see the prompt. Rena, yes, this is the new planner that we are filling out, the 2023 planner. Awesome. Okay, I feel like we are getting a good amount of hearts. So now that we have journaled, I invite y'all, if you feel called to share in the live chat, what in what areas do you feel the most satisfied and why? So again, for anybody who is new, we are reflecting on the holistic health wheel, and that includes spiritual health, financial health, emotional, nutritional, intellectual, occupational, environmental, social, and physical. So let's see. Okay, so Lyric wrote the top 4 areas that they have felt most satisfied with in 2022 were their spiritual, emotional, nutritional, and intellectual health. That's really cool. That's really nice. Let's see. Okay, so Marie Bray said her occupational health has been one of the most satisfying areas this year because of my new hobby in sewing. And I decided to sign up for yoga teacher training. Okay, that's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to learning more about myself throughout that journey. That is really beautiful. I know a few people who went through yoga teacher training, and unlike any other form of schooling that I'm aware of, they all came out of it understanding themselves on a much deeper level. On So I don't know. I just That's really exciting, Mary. Congratulations, Emily K. Uh-oh, no, it updated. Okay. Emily Kay said environmental was one of her top holistic health areas that she was satisfied with in 2022. She says, I just moved into a new, larger apartment with my boyfriend, and I feel very happy with the positive movement to a better place. Let's talk about that. The way that our environment impacts our mood, our vibrations, our stress levels. As some of y'all already know, I actually moved as well. And Emily, all I can say is congratulations. It's that foundation is such a powerful springboard into so many other things, and we can come from a space of feeling more at peace and more safe. So, congratulations. Brianna Child says her social health within holistic health was most satisfying from this year. She says, I'm in my first ever romantic relationship in my life with my beautiful girlfriend. It has been everything I've ever wanted and more. That's so beautiful. Congratulations. It's, I mean, I don't know any other feeling that is as magical as feeling so strongly for somebody and they also feel the same level. They're on the same level as you. It's like the most amplified version of liking the best band ever and somebody else does too, but it's mutual and you're like, "What?" So congratulations. That's really beautiful. Um, let's see. Megan Sen says social, environmental, and financial health were top areas of her life this year. Congratulations. Um, Shay DMV says social and spiritual. I've been really working on my spiritual growth and I've been putting myself out there more socially. Yes, let's go. Man, community, that synergistic collective energy is something else when you find the right people. Congratulations. Christoph. Hey, what's up, Christoph? We talked earlier. I hope you're doing good. Christoph DM me on Instagram. He said, I took the year grounding with family, healing from traumas, and becoming more comfortable with the uncomfortable. Can we get that in a quote? Being comfortable with the uncomfortable. My spiritual and emotional health are abundant. Amen. Congratulations, Christoph. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, Alana Marie said snaps. Yes, yes. Snaps in the chat if we resonate. Let It Fern says, I don't have many areas I feel fully satisfied. That's okay. But I chose occupational because I held down two jobs this year to help me financially, also emotional. I meditated a lot and protected my peace a lot. Snaps. Okay. I mean, I don't know you, but I'm personally very proud of you for taking on two jobs. That's incredible. Like, congratulations to that, man. Like, it's just, it's rough, like it can be rough sometimes, feeling like we need to take on more to maintain. And you did it, you did it. And I'm wishing you even more peace in 2023. I'm wishing you even more time for you. Um, and yeah, and also it's okay if you don't feel fully satisfied by any of the areas of life. Um, by the way, let me go ahead and for anybody who's new, what we're talking about, I'm leaving a link. I We're answering a prompt right now, the first prompt, and it's based off of this holistic health wheel. I'm pinning it to the top of the chat right now for anybody who wants that link. So these are different areas. Okay, let's see. Where was I? I'm sorry if I skipped any. Okay. Assertive Tarot said, honestly, none as well. Okay. It's not like I don't have any of the health areas at all. It's just that none of the areas I can say I got it completely. I guess this explains a lot. Thanks so much. You know, that's understandable. I will say, I mean, if I show you, it's kind of inverted, but it's hard to see. But like my holistic health wheel, when I rated all of mine, none of mine are at a 10 either. But I also feel like feeling fully satisfied by something, it's not always attainable based off of our idea of what perfection should be, at least for me. I know that sometimes I can have this overly ideal vision of a certain area of my so for example my spiritual health should be immaculate and I need to be perfect in all these things, but sometimes that's not always reality, right? So I don't know if that resonates with you, if any of y'all are trying to rate, trying to decide what areas you feel most satisfied by, but it's all relative. So I hope that helps a little bit. I don't know if that resonates at all. Okay, I'm going to answer one more and then we can continue. So, Fanny LB says spiritual, social, and intellectual. I'm learning about my inner child healing, and that's been super helpful with forgiveness for myself and my family. I'm spending more time with loved ones. Can we do a snap for breaking intergenerational trauma and curses and doing the work within our family? And how that creates ripple effects, not only within us, but in our families. Like, congratulations, Fanny. That is a very, that's, I feel like that falls under the category of collective perspective for any of y'all who've been watching any of my recent full and new moon videos. That's, we work on ourselves and create those ripple effects in others. And the deeper that we meet our, oh, the music, sorry, y'all. The deeper that we can meet ourselves and look at our shadows, the deeper level of empathy that we have for others because we see the human in them that we have in us. So that's really beautiful. Um, oh wow. Okay, the chat just updated, y'all. Okay, I'm seeing your snaps. Yes, very awesome. I appreciate that. Okay, are we ready for the next writing prompt? Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so the next question is, what areas within this holistic health wheel would benefit from more attention and why? So I'm going to go ahead and put that writing prompt. I'm going to put the writing prompt and the link in the same comment and pin it to the top so that maybe it's easier to access. Oh gosh, y'all. I'm using copyright free music on YouTube. And sometimes the commercials come up, so don't judge me, y'all. I should, anyway, moving on. Okay, so I pinned that comment. So I'll repeat that again. The comment or the next writing prompt that we're all journaling about right now is, what areas would benefit from more attention and why? And so if you have your Auralign planner for 2023, that will be the next question in your planner. And if you have, and if you do not have the Auralign planner and you don't already know, open up the live chat and click the pinned link, and that will have the writing prompt and the link for all of the holistic health areas. Okay. Corey said we're all good without the music. I appreciate that. I'm going to put down the volume a little bit. I might even just turn it off, y'all, because, by the way, if you see me looking in different directions, it's because the camera's here. I have a screen behind that where I see the chat, and then behind that, I see the prompts and our itinerary for tonight. So, anyway, I'm going to be quiet. Y'all journal. Okay, y'all, I'm turning off the music. Macy asked, must we only choose one area? You don't have to choose one area. You can choose multiple areas, or if there's one that first comes to mind, that's totally fine as well. For anyone who is new or coming into the chat, we are all journaling right now. We are writing out. Why am I doing this? We are writing out our answer to the next writing prompt. and it is pinned in the live chat area right now. So the question is, what areas would benefit from more attention and why from the holistic health wheel? You can click the link to see that wheel. Emily K said, I'll just get some lounge music going in my room. Yes. Crystal, oh, you asked, where are we journaling? We're still in the winter reflection section of the planner. And the writing prompt is already in the planner. So it's actually the last writing prompt in the winter reflection spread, if that makes sense. Okay. Um, if you have finished writing, if you have finished journaling this question, go ahead and put a heart in the chat to let me know you're done. If you're not done, no rush. Um, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question for myself to start, and then we can share what we might have taken away from this question. So, as some of y'all have seen, I already answered these questions in preparation for the live. Um, one of the areas that I personally would benefit more from, more attention in the new year, and why is my nutritional health. As some of y'all know, I'm a holistic nutritionist, I'm a functional nutritionist, and I have since moving, I actually moved recently. Since moving, I've actually improved on my nutritional health a lot, but I really want to hone in on specific areas of my health that my body has been kind of pointing out, like, hey, we'd appreciate some help in this area. And so I know that through working on my nutritional health, that will help me with my occupational health because that will help with my focus levels. That will help with my emotional health because that'll help with my hormone levels. That'll help with even my social health because it'll help with my anxiety, my social anxiety. So that's something that I'm really excited to give a little bit more attention to. And it's one of the holistic health areas, just like all of them, because it is holistic, it's synergistic, it's interdependent. Any area that is doing well or doing bad ends up usually impacting all the others because, as with all of nature, everything is interconnected. So that's an area for me. But if anyone wants to share any areas within the holistic health wheel that they feel called or that they feel would benefit most from more attention, go ahead and comment that and I will read some of them. Mm, okay. Okay, I'm scrolling up. Okay, so Che Bay says, I love your username. For me, my physical holistic health lacked. It's something that's my top priority because with good physical health, I know everything else will bring all others up. Completely agree. Completely agree. And by the way, one of the reasons why I added a holistic health wheel to the planner this year and added it for each season so you can reflect on the previous season. And the reason why we're doing this tonight is because I feel like a lot of times in sort of modern, sort of like spiritual, like new moon intentions, what are your intentions? A lot of that, it feels very centered on career aspirations, having to do with like accessing money and all these things, which is also completely valid to have intentions around. I also have intentions within that space, but I wanted to make sure that we were reminded of all of the other aspects of our health that also play a role in our overall health, whether it be a specific goal. Maybe there's another area of our life that can help support that. Or sometimes when we're focused on one so much, maybe that's like, oh, I'm so focused on my relationship, or I'm so focused on my career, I'm so focused on, I don't know, maybe my appearance. Sometimes we can lose sight of all the others. So, anyway, I hope that that resonates with you. So, let me continue reading. Oh, okay, it just updated and I'm getting a lot of them. So let me just scroll up 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Aw. Okay, Elizabeth. I think all could use some work, but I definitely need to focus on my social life. Over the last few years, I have cut out toxic people, but it left me pretty alone. I am ready for like minded friends. Okay. First of all, let's be friends. Let's be friends. But second, I can definitely resonate with that and comment a snap in the chat if that resonates with you, having to let go of toxic friends, whether you're on a healing journey or you've grown in some way, or maybe your path just changed in a different way and you feel like the people around you maybe aren't in alignment with some of your intentions, or it's just not very conducive to the type of environment that you want to create. That's very understandable, Elizabeth. So, yeah. Crystal said, I want to work more on my health and hopefully get answers from the doctor about my nerve issues. Okay, that's great. I want to work personally with physical nutrition and a work environment while keeping last year's wins. Okay, that's great. That's beautiful. Working with that's a beautiful privilege if we have access to it, and a blessing to be able to work with people who are professionals, whether it be within health or nutrition or financial, any of that. Being able to learn from people who are wiser, more wiser than us, it saves us a lot of time, and it's a great example of collective collective growth, leaning on one another. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Crystal says, I want to work more on my health and hopefully get answers from the doctor. Oh, wait, girl, y'all, I'm reading the same one. This chat is updating too quick. I'm sorry. Okay, next, moving on. Oh, real quick, anybody who is new to the chat, we are answering the question that is pinned at the top of the live chat right now. So we are sharing the answers. We all journal together. Now we are sharing. Okay. Um, okay, Sophia Lorena says social, intellectual, occupational, and spiritual. They will help me feel more balanced in life and help with other areas of life. Amen. Um, D Light says, weirdly enough, it's comforting to see the same amount of satisfaction and more needed. Interesting. Okay. Um, the Monsters Win says, honestly, I need to work on all of them, but I think environmental is going to need to be guess before I can focus on anything else. Oh, it needs to be the top priority. Yeah, that's a great point. That our environmental world, whether that be our home, our workspace, our neighborhood, air qualities, air quality, water quality, feeling safe in our space, feeling like we can really be in rest and digest mode, not in fight or flight mode. All of those things are such strong foundational areas of our lives that can drastically impact the rest of them. For example, after moving, where I live now, I feel way more safe and comfortable walking to the park and having daily walks, and that in turn has impacted my ability to get vitamin D, and that has impacted my mood and my melatonin level. So the ripple effects are endless, depending on what area of life we want to focus on. Okay, Lyric says the financial, environmental, and occupational. My goal is to build generational wealth, and these areas are imperative to complete that goal. Yes. Christoph says nutrition, having the proper fuel to propel me in my soul and physical world work. It's the foundation, and I can make manageable change to improve it, thus improving all of the others. Love it. Love to see it. Y'all, you see, I love it. Y'all are getting, I mean, you already know, but it just, it just, yeah, okay. It just feels so good to that y'all understand and resonate with the fact that um, there's so many foundational things that can drastically change other areas, you know. So anyway, B Tone 3 says, my emotions, because the part of me really affects other aspects of me, mentally, physically. Managing my emotions better will keep me more grounded mentally and keep me in my own peace. Okay, definitely. Okay, Macy says, honestly, all for me. Oh no, it updated. Y'all, okay. I'm sorry. It updated. The chat sometimes updates, and so it's hard for me to find where I was. So I apologize. Um okay, let's do one more. Danielle says, "Hey, what's up, Danielle?" Says, "Hi, Alina. Nutritional and physical. I need to work out more and cut down on caffeine and sugar. All other areas have been balanced and abundant this year. Beautiful. Congratulations on that. Nutritional and physical. I quick note for anybody who maybe needs to hear this or maybe not, whatever. I'm just going to share my personal experience. I actually quit caffeine this year, or not quit caffeine. I quit coffee, and I quit caffeine for about 2.5 months, and then I reintroduced matcha only. But in that process, though the withdrawals were very hard for me, I realized that for me personally, it was negatively impacting my hormone levels because of all the blood sugar spikes. Um, and I learned a lot about how caffeine, it makes us feel energized, but really what it is doing, it's suppressing certain um certain hormones from meeting different receptors to actually tell us that we're tired, and it's specifically stimulating our adrenal glands to release stress hormones. So it's actually keeping us in a perpetual state of stress. And anyway, to each their own. I still enjoy matcha occasionally, but at least for me, I realized that I would feel a lot more balanced, less stressed, and less irritable and things like that if I had cut down. And so the journey for me was very powerful. And all I will say is there's a subreddit on Reddit called Caffeine Free, I believe. And I learned so much on there, and I got a lot of community support from there. So if that resonates with anybody, in fact, I actually have two supplements I use that help me with the transition. One of it is a B complex, because caffeine actually specifically depletes B vitamins in the body, which makes us even more tired and more dependent on it. And I also used an adaptogenic herbal blend specifically for healing the adrenal glands. I'm sorry if that's off topic for any of y'all, but I just wanted to bring that up because I know a lot of people, um, we can feel like we're kind of on this hamster wheel of caffeine, and it's very addictive, but it's socially acceptable. Anyway, to each their own though. I love caffeine. I love coffee. Just, taking a break, doing me. And everybody should do you. Do you. Okay. Oh yeah, Leia Long said caffeine only for emergencies. Got it. Oh, I appreciate that, Melody. She said not off topic, very helpful. Okay. Awesome, y'all. Let's go ahead and move on. Excellent. So, if next up, if you have your Auralign Astrology Planner for 2023, I invite you to flip over to the Get Clear section. So, you're going to flip back a few pages. I don't have the digital planner in front of me, but anybody who has their digital planner, if you want to share what um, what page that is on, for anybody else, but you're actually going to go flip back to earlier in the planner to get to the Get Clear section for the first prompt, which you will see on your page. For anybody who doesn't have the R-Line planner with you, let's do the next question. So the question is, and I will pin this at the top of the live chat for anybody who is new and watching. What, let me go ahead and pin it first so you can read along. So the next prompt is, what were some of 2022's top highlights, moments of gratitude, or things that you're most proud of yourself for? So it can be any of those three. So, what were 2022's top highlights for you, moments of gratitude, or things that you're most proud of yourself for? Go ahead and journal, and I will wait in silence. And thank you. Thank you to Kiki. It is on page 14 in the digital planner for anybody who's using the digital planner. Oh, wait, I'm getting different pages. I'm seeing page 19 and page 12 for different people. It might be because you might be in different time zones, so the page designs might be slightly different. Okay, I'm seeing 2 14s. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Sarah, also for sharing. Okay, I will be quiet as you journal. Oh, I see. People are sharing that it is page 19 in the physical book, and then in the digital, it is page 14. Oh, Sarah, I see your comment. No worries. Sorry, y'all. I had to take a picture. This is so cool. I'm telling y'all, we're going to do more lives. And this is the first one. So I will continue to improve upon them. I might even send out some a feedback survey because I want to make this the best live ever when we do this. Okay. No more talking. Journal, journal. Well, that's a good question, Nicole. Where do we get the planner? It you can find it at auralignsshop.com. It's linked on my channel. When you go to my YouTube channel, there are links on the banner, I believe. And there's a lot of different tabs, and I believe one of them says links. I will also add it to the chat. Oh, why don't I just add it to the chat? Thank you, Shell. Yeah. Give thumbs up if you're watching. It's appreciated. Someone donated. Okay. How do I put this here? So someone just commented, thank you, T Martell. T Martell just donated $10. Thank you. That's incredible. Um, and they commented, I know Mercury retrograde is upon us, but I desperately need a new job and I'm taking an interview. What are your thoughts? My safety and sanity is at risk. Wait, so why is your safety and sanity at risk with this job? Would be my follow up question to that. Um, if you feel like it's at risk, maybe finding a new like a different interview for a different position. I think I need more context to be able to give you advice, T Martell, but You're welcome to DM me on Instagram as well. Okay. Okay. Okay, you said I love watching first time live. So innocent. That is hilarious. Yeah. Yep. This is the first time. Oh gosh. Oh, I see, T. Martell. Okay, you said too much violence and threats in your current job. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so you're doing an interview for a new job, is my understanding. I wish you the best for that interview. Again, feel free to DM me on Instagram. We can talk about it more. Um, it'd also be interesting to learn what house Mercury retrograde is in for you. Okay, okay. T. Martell, I'm seeing some good advice in the chat. Okay. By the way, the chat is a little bit delayed, I think, because my live is delayed. So sorry if my replies are a little delayed. Okay. So go ahead and put a heart emoji in the chat if you are done journaling. And while I wait to see who has finished journaling, I'm going to go ahead and read some of the highlights from the year for me. I'm just going to read like one or two. Um, and again, anybody who might be new to the live, we just finished journaling the question that is pinned to the top of the live. Okay, I'm getting hearts. Let's go. We are answering questions that are pinned to the top of the live chat right now. So open up your live chat so you can see what we are journaling about. Everybody is commenting hearts. So that means that we have written out our top highlights from the year of 2022. I'm going to go ahead and read one or two of mine. Um, so a highlight from this year is I got engaged, y'all. He put a ring on it. No. um, but I got engaged. So that was the highlight of this year. I shared it on Instagram. So if y'all are interested in keeping up with my life, I don't know if that's interesting to you, um, but you can follow me there. I shared it on there. And it was really beautiful. And I still can't believe it happened. It happened in March and it's the end of the year. I still can't believe it happened. Oh, thanks, y'all. Thanks for the congratulations. Um, yeah, like Chris is my fiance, and he is the most supportive person I've ever had in my life. It took some getting used to how incredible he is, and I don't know, like to be completely transparent, like me being on YouTube right now, me having this planner line, a lot of it was attributed to his support. And it's just like, I don't know. That's it. Anyway, that's my highlight. That's all I have to say. And thank you for I'm seeing all the congratulations. Thank you guys. That means a lot. Um anyway, we did a lot this year and anyway, okay. Next up, y'all. I would like you to share what are your highlights from this year. Go ahead and put them in the chat and I'm going to read some of them so we can just share and celebrate together. And when you hear highlight from this year that people share. And if it resonates with you, put a snap in the chat and we are supporting each other. Okay. And I want to also reiterate something that I put in the planner and that I've said before, but I want to say it again, which is that highlights don't necessarily be like, I got engaged, I went over here, I traveled here, I did this like big thing, this Instagram worthy postable thing. Those are also incredible highlights that we will also celebrate. But highlights from the year can be, oh my gosh, I realized this thing about myself and I'm moving differently now. And I'm noticing that change. It can be, I moved into a safer space. It can be anything, big or small. So, anyway, I just want to reiterate that. It doesn't need to be like, I did this. You know what I mean? I feel like on Instagram right now, everybody's like posting the highlights from the year, which is totally cool. It's fun to share our growth, right? But you know what I mean? Sometimes it's It is what it is. Okay, let me go ahead and read this. Read this. Okay. Thank you, Fanny. Seriously, I just want to say thank you again for everybody saying congratulations. I'm going to go through and read all of these soon. Okay. So Elizabeth Noya says, my highlight of 2022 was graduating from my first degree in herbal studies as a master herbalist and beginning my new degree in integrative health. Okay, snaps, Elizabeth. The world needs many, many of you. The world needs you. And you answered your calling for sure. That is incredible. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Ali Ray says, engagement, buying a home, my birthday celebration. Okay. Okay. You know what? I don't know if anybody else resonates with this, but it feels like sometimes when lightning strikes, it strikes. Like when, it's just, I don't know. Congratulations, Ali Ray. Shay DMB. My godson was born and I was able to see my grandpa in his hometown in Nigeria. What? That's so beautiful. What? Like, you got to visit him in his hometown? Like, the level of generational connection there, learning probably more about him as well. That's really beautiful. And it's also so special, like, it's never happened to me, somebody asking to be like a godmother or anything like that, but the idea of somebody asking you that, is incredible, so that's really beautiful. Kitty says, I've recognized the memory of my core emotional wound, and I am beginning to free my inner child. In my artistic career, acting, I experienced many moments of true connection. I'm so proud of my growth. I that it's 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 the inner growth for me, okay? It's the deeper level of self-empathy and self-knowledge for me. That is one of the core foundations that will create ripple effects in the rest of our lives. That is congratulations, Kitty. Congratulations. Um, D Lightbeam says, my biggest highlight was reconnecting to my higher self and shifting. Y'all, I'm sorry. Okay, so like I said before, sometimes the chat updates, like when there's a lot of comments and I lost that one, but I'm gonna scroll up and try and find it. Okay. Um, Mr. and Mrs. Smith says, I've enrolled in college, learned to trust my intuition, and got a car. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Learn to trust our intuition. That is a process. Congratulations. Being able to take time off to care for family and do fun things because of a career change. So many years of denied vacations. That's from LA Mary. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I don't know about y'all. When COVID hit, my dad, he got COVID and he was out of state and I rushed to go help him. And the biggest takeaway from that, this is when YouTube was, I was able to, like I switched careers and was able to kind of do that. The biggest thing that I was praying in gratitude for was the ability for me to actually do that. That is one of the most underrated blessings to have. Congratulations. Maya C says, I started college and put myself out there. Difficult at times, but I'm super proud of myself. Yes, yes. Okay, Assertive Tarot says manifesting my first home, learning tarot and doing readings. My first third eye vision. Ooh, I'd love to hear more about that. Romantic relationship, first romantic relationship, bonding with my mom, workouts at home, deep and meaningful conversations. Mm, I love that. Bonding with your mom, workouts at home, powerful things. Let's see. So Dominique says, giving birth to a healthy and beautiful child and leading my beauty team in New York Fashion Week and Miami Swim Week. Excuse me. While super pregnant, Dominique, you are, in fact, that bee. You are, in fact. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. That is really beautiful. I would love to learn more about your work. That's really beautiful. I feel like I skipped a few, so I'm going to scroll up. Okay, May said, I stayed alive. Yes, yes. Amen. We are alive. Period. That in and of itself is probably the top highlight. We are all here in the realm of the living. We all have another day, another opportunity to learn, to potentially improve somebody else's life, our life. Can't beat it. Okay. My biggest highlight, this is from, oh no, okay, I found it. Okay, Megan Sen said 2022 was my most abundant year ever in and outside of my business. Amen. Okay, amen. Snaps for that. Let's go. Um, okay, vibe check. How we feeling, y'all? Am I reading too many? Let's just do a vibe check real quick. Am I reading too many? Do y'all want to move on? Do you want me to keep reading? Let's do a vibe check. For any of y'all who are new, I'm reading the answers to the current prompt that is pinned at the top of the live chat. Ooh, Kate Jordan, I lost 60 pounds this year. Congratulations. Okay, Goddess Isis said, I love this pace. The vibe is perfect. Share more testimonials. Okay, let's go. Let's celebrate each other. Yes. Yes, we are here for it. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. Let me find my spot. Okay. DL light beam. Okay, where was I? Just want to make sure that I get to the correct place. Okay, okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm just finding my place where I was. Okay, KB says it's just happening this month, but will start my next year off perfect. I see my worth. Yes, yes. You want to know the magic of seeing your worth? A lot of the BS around us fades away because we know that we are up here. We know that we are worthy of more. And when we see our goals, even if it feels like it's on a pedestal, when we see our worth, that pedestal comes right here because we are matching the vibration of what we are attracting. So seeing your worth, snaps in the chat for that. Okay. Mercy says, I quit the job I was comfortable in because it became toxic for me. I'm autistic, so big changes are very difficult. I stayed longer than I should have, but ultimately stood up for myself and left. Whew. Going to the environments that are conducive to our overall health, to our mental health, to our physical health, and to our peace. Mercy, I celebrate you for taking that leap and I congratulate you. I'm really excited for the new environments that you get to inhabit and the new people who get to meet you and enjoy your space and enjoy your contribution to whatever business or space that will be. Lady of Light 67 says, my highlight was I took a road trip by myself. Oh, what a fun idea. I used to have crippling anxiety, so taking the trip by myself was big for me. Wow, what an adventure. Okay. I would love to hear more about what you did for your road trip. That sounds really beautiful. And with that context of having the anxiety, that is a beautiful leap. Mari Bree says, forming new responses to old triggers to better myself for me and my family. Let me read that again. Forming new responses to old triggers. Cheers to that, okay? I love the way that you worded that, Mari Breeze. It really acknowledges in a way that I feel like sometimes isn't acknowledged when we're talking about growing, when we're talking about no longer maybe engaging in negative things or engaging or maybe not letting things impact our emotions, not letting things emotionally control us. What does all that mean? A lot of that is forming new responses to old triggers, understanding where those triggers come from, and really sitting, maybe journaling, processing that in any way that resonates with you, whether that's talk therapy, talking with somebody, articulating it, journaling about it, and figuring out what's a new way that I can respond to that trigger if that happens. Because in life, triggers can happen, right? It's about how we respond to it oftentimes. So that's really powerful, Madi, and I celebrate you. Alana Marie says, I'm embracing my authentic self, doing what I love and not doing what others expect of me, asking for help and learning to receive it. That part. It's one thing to be like, okay, let me ask for help. And it's another thing to fully receive it. Overcoming healing, Overcoming, healing, forgiving generational trauma, and writing my first manuscript. Okay, snaps in the chat. Oh boy, I love to hear it. Doing what I love and not what others want. Okay, someone else donated, y'all. Okay, I really appreciate you donating. Um, Thank you, Goddess Isis. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that really quick. I'm grateful on this day for Ujima, for the collective work and energy. We are 300 people across the country, all in like mind, sharing joy and encouragement. Yes, yes, we are. And that resonates with me. I feel that too. Thank you for the donation and amen to that, man. Ah, I'll reiterate what I said before. I know, like, I feel like a lot of spiritual people are supposed to be all zen, but I'm really excited to hear everyone's wins for this year and also to see the collective support in the chat. Like, y'all are the best community ever, man. Like, and I hope that anybody who's listening to this maybe feels inspired for it, I don't know, for next year feels a little less alone. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna read maybe a handful more, and then we're gonna go on to the next prompt. Okay, y'all. And for anybody who's new in the chat, we are all answering the most recent prompt that has been posted in the live chat section. So if you want to read the prompt that everybody's answering, excuse me, everybody's answering right now, and that I'm reading the answers for, that is where it is. Okay, let's see. Shanae Arrington says, some highlights was starting school. Okay. I got fired from my job in January to lead me to school to work with herbs. Let's talk about the fact that so many people are answering this calling for collective healing relative to herbal and nutritional medicine. Let's talk about that. You are the superhumans. You are the superheroes of this world. Congratulations for shifting into that, to answering that calling. Um, okay, Isabella Davis says, I had my first ever Reiki session and it went amazing. And they said, I'll actually be getting Reiki certified now earlier in the year. Okay, in 2023, I'm assuming. And I booked my first ever modeling gig with my agency. I signed in February. Love to see it. Congratulations. Also, I'm loving the diversity in what you are interested in and what you are going for. Like, that is so beautiful. I'd love to hear what your journey was from your first Reiki session to then going into it as a profession. That's incredible. Um Diana said, highlight getting into my first dance team and going to concerts with my sisters. Okay. Oh, that sounds really beautiful to be able to not only do what you love, but to share it with other people, to share it with a team, with your dance team. Like that sounds really nice. Corey, and also, Corey, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. It's spelled Khouri. I want to spell correctly. You commented, I started going on walks around my neighborhood and realized I don't need to get away from my neighborhood to get active. Yes. Let's talk about that. Just for a moment, I just want to say, Corey, that really resonates with me because one of the smallest things that I did that drastically impacted my energy, especially when I quit coffee and I was like, yo, like, where's my energy? What am I going to do? Um, Drastically impacted that. My focus, deeper sleep was not getting a big gym membership and doing this huge thing and transforming my body, which absolutely do as well. I went for walks. I literally committed to 30-minute walks, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I didn't commit to doing it every day. I was like, let me just start there. Like, let me try and do that. And I'm telling y'all, like that, it's so foundational. It sounds pretty basic to even say, like, well, you went for a walk. But at least for me, as somebody who works from home, who's relatively sedentary because I work at a desk, which I know I'm not alone in, getting outside and just going for a walk, like, drastically impacted a lot of things. So I am really happy for you, Kari. Like, I also read that the more active people, the more people are outside and in their communities, it actually is connected with lower crime rates because there are more eyes on the community. So that also has a collective perspective, that a more synergistic impact in our community. You're also getting vitamin D. Vitamin D is an important precursor or building block to melatonin, which helps with deeper sleep. It helps with our stress levels. I can go on, but that's really beautiful, Corey, to see that that you've been out there in your neighborhood. And yeah, it's like a lot of the stuff is right in front of us. And I feel like anyway, I can keep talking. I'm gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna read a few more. We'll keep going to the next writing prompt. Wow, we're already at an hour and 12 minutes, y'all. Okay, vibe check. Vibe check, real quick. Like, how are we feeling? Like, should I kind of speed this up? We're close. We're kind of close to the end now, actually. So I have like one more writing prompt, and then we're going to actually two more, and then we're going to visualize. So vibe check. Okay. I'm going to read like two more, and then I'll check the vibe check. Ooh, Catherine said, quit my job. Simple as that. Let's go. That's a pretty good highlight for 2022. Mr. and Mrs. Smith said, I've enrolled in college. Oh, no. Okay. I read that. I read that. Don't have okay. Do I have it one thing I'm most proud? Okay, so DM Casey said, I don't have a planner yet, but one thing I'm most proud of is that I have read 12 books this year. Let's go. Let's talk about the power of reading books, how it helps to lengthen our attention spans. It can really reduce our stress levels, calm our nervous system, especially in comparison to the scrolling. Okay, so congratulations. Ah, okay, y'all. Okay, let me read one more. Let me more. Okay, Macy says highlights. I moved into my own place for the first time. I restarted a relationship that helped me with communication and boundaries. Okay, and I'm noticing how important communication is to me. Okay, snaps in the chat for you, Macy. Congratulations. And let's talk about that too, the power of relationships and how every relationship is a mirror. It's a mirror, and we are learning about ourselves as we learn about other people. I'm seeing the snaps. Let's go. Okay, let me scroll down. I want to see the vibe checks. Share more testimonials. Okay, I'm seeing share more testimonials. Oh, Crystal says I gotta go soon, unfortunately. Feeling good. I'm a little tired, but keep going. Okay. Okay, Alana says books have been a newfound bliss for me as well. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, I see it, Corey. Yes, you got it right. Pronounced just like Corey. Got it for sure. All right. Okay, I'm gonna read. Okay, y'all said to read some more testimonials, so I'm gonna read a few more. Let me scroll up. I don't want to skip too many. Okay, wow. Okay, Sophia says getting COVID-19 helped me to realize living in fear is not a life, not a life, and that I should go after the things that I want. It had me thinking more about what I want out of life. That right there, man. Man, oh man. When we're faced with that level of like sickness and we have that time where our body has given us no choice but to sit, no choice but to sit and reflect. I'm really happy for you that you came out of that with that clear perspective. I think that it can be hard to kind of cut through all the fluff sometimes and really see exactly what you want and realize as you feel like it's kind of slipping away from you what you actually want. So I'm glad that you're better and I'm glad that you had that clarity, Sophia. Okay, next. Okay, Sarah says, big snaps. I transitioned to working from home over a year and a half ago, and being able to be more present at home has been insanely gratifying. Love, 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 love to see it. Love to see it. Whew. Working from home, the level of gratitude I have from working from home, I don't even speak it. Like I don't even want to talk about it. Like all I can say is that I am just silently like every day. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, okay. B-Tone03 says my biggest highlight was taking all these spiritual classes like tarot, mediumship, animal communications, dream classes, and more. Wow, that's really interesting. I'd imagine a lot of those classes have a lot of overlapping wisdom as well, relative to the spiritual realm, our intuitive abilities, and that collective information much must make you a mastermind. That's pretty cool. Okay, Let It Burn says, I learned how to be vulnerable again. Allowed myself to date and not carry any baggage. I don't know why, but this one really resonates with me. Healed from some childhood trauma, and now my communication with my parents is a lot better. Hashtag grateful. I'm really happy for you. It can be hard. It can be hard letting down our walls and opening up to people, because oftentimes not wanting to be vulnerable can stem from past trauma. It can stem from things that can take some time to work through and process. So I really commend you for doing that work and stepping out of your comfort zone. So that's really beautiful. Oh, there was a little flash. Um, my highlights, this is from Mrs. Harris, says, my highlights were my finding lots of community and support with like minded folks. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's talk about that. The validating nature of being around like minded people. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to the next writing prompt. So the next question is, let me go ahead. I'm looking behind the camera because behind the camera is my itinerary with all of the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and post the next question and pin it. And that is, what were some of 2022's top challenges and lessons? So go ahead and journal that. Um, and what I mean by top challenges and lessons, that can either be two separate things, or it can be here's what the challenge was, and here's the lesson that I learned from it. Or they can be two different things. So go ahead and journal, and we will come back and share. Hmm. I just want to read one of the keep journaling if you're still journaling, but I just want to read a comment I saw from the house vlog that resonates from a challenge and lesson from this year. They said, I learned that some soulmates are seasonal. The lesson was to learn when and how to properly forgive and let go. That makes a lot of sense. I That makes me think of kind of like kindred spirits. Kindred spirits are, it's like a general description is kind of like people who are meant to be in your life for a season, and you can have a certain degree of connection with them, but that doesn't necessarily correlate with it having to be forever or for a very long period of time. And the power of accepting that, right now, that's not what it is. And maybe it won't ever be. But taking the lessons from that and taking time to process it. I feel like processing certain relationships that sometimes feel like they end too soon, it can take a lot of time. Sometimes it's not a lot of time, but all that to say, that was an interesting lesson that you learned, the house vlog. Oh, yeah, for anybody leaving, completely understandable. It's getting late. So I'm going to try and like speed up some of this stuff. I think we're just having so much fun you know, sharing the answers to the prompts. I think that's the fun part of the live that we can share that collectively. Melody says that's real. Sometimes people come into your life and then they leave. Doesn't mean you did anything wrong, just means it was time for them to go. Mm. Okay. Okay. So if you feel like you have finished writing, writing out your answer for this prompt, go ahead and put a heart in the chat to let me know if you're ready to move on. If you're not, no rush, keep writing. But while I wait to see if y'all are done answering that writing prompt, um, I'm going to go ahead and answer it for myself. A lot of these are personal. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Some of the answers for me are personal, so I don't know if I want to kind of like project them onto the internet. And by the way, don't feel pressured to project your answer onto the internet um, if you don't feel called to do so. But I think a challenge and a lesson that I had this year, and I feel like this is like relevant because I want to tell more people this story, man. But it was when we bought a house. So we bought a house, which is like an amazing accomplishment, and that's also a highlight from this year. But in the process of doing that, I had this image of myself. I was like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a content creator. Um, I own my own business. Like, people are not going to want to loan money to me. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're an entrepreneur, if you're anybody who knows anything about, relative to getting a loan for a home for such a big purchase, people don't, people aren't going to, I don't know. I had this insecurity. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody's going to give us a loan. They look at my tax records and all this stuff differently. And long story short, after working with my tax person and getting all my files in order and working with a really great loan person, we were able to very easily get the loan that we want. We were able to get the house that we wanted in a budget that I had no idea that I even could do. And it was a huge lesson for me that my insecurities were literally blocking my blessings for a minute. Like, I literally was like, no, they're not going to give me a loan. We're going to have to do it another way. We're going to have to only do it through Chris's, tax income stuff. And all of that to say, um, anybody who's an entrepreneur, anybody who does want to eventually buy a home, um, it can be a lot more accessible than I feel like a lot of people let on online. Um, and I don't know. I won't get too much into it, but that's a big a challenge and a lesson that I learned this year. Like I literally was like, no, maybe we shouldn't do it at all. And I wanted to do it so bad. It was like one of my biggest goals and intentions for the year. And I was literally like crying and freaking out about it. And then I worked with my tax person. They're like, actually, no, Alina, you're freaking crazy. Like you can actually afford this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had to kind of grapple with the fact that my self image was much lower. I saw myself as somebody who was way less capable than what I actually was, if that makes sense. So, that was a lesson for myself. Like, girl, give yourself credit. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay, all right. If you have journaled, if you have an answer to this writing prompts, okay, yep, okay, I see this resin. If you have an answer to these journal prompts, I'd love for you to add them to the chat, and I will read them and we can share them. Um, and yeah, all right. Yeah, you know what? I really agree with that. Sitara says, "Silence is golden. Keep your goals and dreams to yourself so they will manifest." I think that I have an opinion on that. Like I do I feel like I personally think that it's important to share your goals, but only with the right people. Because I feel like when you share your intentions, you are then manifesting it with people that you share it with. That's on a spiritual level. Then on a psychological level, if you kind of let somebody into like a dream that you have that might be kind of delicate, if they say something negative, it can impact your psyche. So um yeah. Okay. Okay. D Light Bean said, um, I believe that this is the answer to the prompt. So for anybody new, we are answering the prompt, which is what were some of 2022's top challenges and lessons? So D Light Beam says, learning how to accept the true foundation of my relationships and setting boundaries were needed instead of giving the benefit of the doubt. You know, honestly, I feel like it's often, I mean, I feel like it's for anybody, but oftentimes when a downfall of having met ourselves on a deeper level and having a deeper sense of empathy for ourselves can sometimes show up as having deeper levels of empathy for others, and sometimes that can blind us from needing to set certain boundaries and having that tough love with people. So I get what you mean. Mari Bree says, I learned how to let go of anger, and I'm still learning how to let go of grudges that only hold me back. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. Sounds like some shadow work right there. Like that grudge element, like holding on to something. A lot of times that's rooted in feeling like, well, I kind of deserve an apology, or like I kind of deserve some level of acknowledgement, and having a certain level of expectation on how people should behave, and like letting go of those expectations because we can't fully control people. It's hard. It's hard. Moto Energy Production says, I love your prompts. Keep doing your thing and being yourself, selling more merch. Oh, I love you. I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Catherine Gutierrez says, I also closed the door on a relationship this year. It was good while it lasted, but it needed to be done. No hate or anger. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that sometimes. Like sometimes when you know yourself, when you clearly understand the situation, it is as simple as that. It's not as much of like, well, what about this? What about that? Let me learn more about this. Well, sometimes you just know. And so a lot of times that's rooted in intuition. So, okay. Oh, Dragon Lavender says, I'm a little sleepy, but keeping my headphones on to tune in while dreaming. Oh, okay. I'm going to try not to yell or anything. We're going to have a chill vibe, chill lo fi vibe. Okay. Crystal. Okay. So, again, for anybody who's new, we are answering, everybody's sharing in the chat. If you choose to, you don't have to. The answer to the prompt that is posted, it's pinned to the top of the live chat right now. We are journaling together and now we are sharing it. Okay, I like that. Crystal says, I'm going to work on this last prompt offline. Thank you for a great live. You're welcome. Okay. Kayla replied, okay, the past will never return to me. I must be open to creating a new future as I transform into newer versions of myself. Yes, absolutely. You know, it's so interesting to learn that apparently, I could be wrong. Y'all correct me. I'm not going to claim that I know everything, but to learn that from a quantum physics perspective, apparently the only thing that's real is the present moment, and everything else that is a memory and everything that we imagine in the future, these are all projections. And so, speaking on like kind of letting go of the past and recognizing it as just that, the past, something that is no longer here, and allowing that to empower us to embrace the future. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it's just interesting to think about it in that way. And I commend you, Kitty, for learning that lesson and being open to putting more energy into the future and to who you can be in order to attract what you want and to create what you want. Nicole Hansen says, Kayla to properly they said, Kayla, to properly deal with anger, see the person as an empty boat. Release your feelings as though it was lacking a target. Anger is a poison you wish for someone else, yet drink yourself. So so that so see it that way. I've heard that saying before. That's true. Anger is a poison that you drink that you hope that the other person feels. It's hard. Oh, thank you. Someone said congrats on the new home. I appreciate that. Oh man. Okay, the chat updated and I lost my spot, so I apologize. Okay, I found it. Sorry, y'all. I'm just finding a new comment, a new okay, Leah Long said, not taking things personally and realizing that I'll always feel like an alien in my family unless I put effort to communicate and be open with them instead of holding resentment and the power of friendship. Good for you, Leah Long. I don't know your full family dynamic, so I can't comment on that. Everybody's family is so different. Um, but it does sound like you are choosing to um, put energy into what you can control, especially in families with a lot of different people, a lot of different energies. It's very hard to try and fully change everybody. Um, and recognizing that you can focus on what you can control can be very helpful with coping with that. So that sounds really dope that you're doing that. Elizabeth says insecurities can always hold us back. Very true. Pauline says, oh, I thank you for your beautiful planner, and I am so glad that you are doing this. It has helped me improve my life. We'll keep going. Thank you. Oh, much love, Pauline. Okay. Assertive Tarot says, a lesson or challenge that they learned from 2022 is putting myself first as a priority, challenge and lesson. Um, Turning knowledge into action and being consistent has been the challenge and lesson. And letting go of that which no longer serves me has been a challenge. Oh boy, can that be hard. Because like letting go of what no longer serves us, sometimes that can be like people, like, okay, you're toxic in my life, or like you're not I feel like you're not really aligned with where I want to be in my life, or I feel like you're not supportive. Like there's that level of it, and then there's the level of letting go of certain habits or certain ideologies that we might not even fully be conscious of, or maybe we're aware of, but we find it hard to let go of. Like maybe that's a limiting belief, like what I was talking about before, of thinking like, no, that's not going to work, and kind of avoiding doing the research as like this emotional regulation of like, I don't want to deal with the stress of looking into it or doing the research, and then continuing that negative self belief. And I had to let go of what no longer served me to get what I did and do what I did. And so that resonates. Christoph says, learning to let go of expectations and to trust the process. Yo, that is so hard. Developing a more empathetic vocabulary. Oh, empathic vocabulary. Okay. I'd love to learn more about this. Developing a more empathic vocabulary. Regulating my anxiety in situations where I felt like I had less autonomy. Releasing and letting go. Mm. Woo. I just know I really appreciate the level of articulation in expressing how the specifics of the lessons that we've learned. It really sounds like a lot of y'all have put a lot of thought into this, and I hope that anybody listening to this, if you feel inspired, if it resonates, like that's really cool. Again, for anybody who is tuning in, we are answering the current writing prompt for tonight, and it is pinned at the top of the live chat. So you can go ahead and read it, and I am reading the answers to that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read one more and then we have to move on because I'm shocked. I kind of want to end this at 2 hours, preferably sooner, because I know y'all have lives and it's getting late and different time zones. Okay, one more. Okay. Allie Ray Clark says it has been said detailed attention to the present moment is the only way to prepare for future opportunities and dreams. Okay, let me read that one more time. That is very pertinent information. It has been said detailed attention to the present moment is the only way to prepare for future opportunities and dreams. I find that to be really interesting. That's really beautiful. Okay. Okay. Oh, somebody, I just want to answer this. D-Light Beam said, I'd love to know if you have any tips for future work in our planners. There's so many gold nuggets and resources. I don't know where to start. Is it best just to go in order or flow through it? Okay, that's a really good question. And at the end of this live, we're gonna do I think I'm gonna skip this and we're gonna go to one last question. We're going to visualize our highest intention for 2023 together, and then we're gonna do a free for all Q&A. So during that Q&A, I will answer any questions you have for the planners, anything about anything, literally anything, like about, like, maybe it's entrepreneurship, YouTube, spirituality, like motivation, whatever you want, we will talk about it. So let's go ahead and move on. So let's move on to the final question of the night. Um, and that is under the category of intention setting. So now that we have reflected on our wins, our losses, our highlights, our challenges, and our lessons from 2022, with that context, my final question for you is, if you couldn't fail in 2023, what would you focus on? What is the first thing that comes to mind as your heart's desire? Like, don't overthink it. What would come up for you? I just posted the question in the chat. Oh, Valentina asked, can somebody read back all the prompts? I came late and want to answer them. Um, so once the live is over, I will post all of the questions in the video description. Um, and if anybody wants to comment them, if they have them, they can. But yeah. Um, I'm sorry. I wish I could pin more than one comment. Otherwise, I would literally pin all of them, Valentina. Anyway, okay, go ahead and journal and I'll be quiet. Oh, by the way, if you have your Auralign planner, obviously this question is also in the Get Clear section of the planner. Okay, Leah, we'll be here. Leah commented, "Be right back. I'm going to feed my cat." All right, everybody keep writing. I'm just going to read some of the comments I'm seeing. So, if you couldn't fail in 2023, what would you focus on? Marilyn Clayton says, getting in my garden on my new property so I can provide food for my community. That's so sweet. Financial security. Yes. Yes. Financial freedom and travel. I'm seeing travel a lot. Yes. Absolutely purchasing my dream home. Commented by Queen Bee of Swords. Everything that I read, I'm trying to visualize for you, and I'm just co-creating it for you. I'm visualizing that we reunite in a year or maybe in the spring, in just a season's time. And I see in the live chat that y'all manifested these things, y'all created these things for yourselves. Let's see. Danielle Brennan says, growth in all areas of my life. Wisdom building, Adept says, wisdom building. I resonate with that. I think that's a big goal for me in 2023. Like having a more structured spiritual practice. A lot of the practices that I do it very intuitively. But I'm kind of interested in reconnecting with discipline. I feel like for a long time I associated it with school and with being under the control of others and organized religion within the toxic aspect of that. But having a disciplined practice spiritually, I think, is just something I feel really called to do. That's really beautiful. Rena Horton Baker says finances and more self confidence. Beautiful. For anybody who is new to the chat, we are answering the final question of the night, the final writing prompt, and it is pinned at the top of the live chat. If you have your Auralign planner, this question is also in the Get Clear section of the planner, so you can fill it out there. There has got to be a way to chill, to slow down this chat a little bit. Okay. Um, okay. I'm going to go ahead and just keep on answering answering or not answering, but reading your responses to the writing prompts. So, if you couldn't fail in 2023, um, Lacri says I would be grounding myself by getting into gardening and letting nature take the wheel. Mm. Mm, absolutely. Midwest Jamaican. First thing that comes to mind is writing. I love writing. I've written for other websites, but I want to start a spiritual blog and eventually write a book. Yes, yes, yes. There is just more than enough to go around in every aspect of career, creativity. The world needs what you have to offer, and that sounds very beautiful. Lady Rangel says, I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly, by the way. Financial freedom and travel. Oh, I read that one. Okay, Renee Horton Baker says, getting my health back in order. That part. I think that's going to be my biggest intention for 2023. I don't comment. I would love to know, comment in the chat if your solar or not solar, if your Saturn return is happening next year because it's happening for your girl. And she's a little scared, but I did a lot of research on my Saturn return, so I know a lot about it and exactly what to expect. And that has helped me feel a little better. But all that to say, I definitely want to focus on my health as well relative to that. And you can do it, man. You can do it. It's a lot of foundational stuff. I'd love to do more videos talking about this, but in terms of our health and nutrition and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of times online or on social media, like you see so many people talking about like, oh, I took this super special herb, or I did this super special program, or I did the super special diet, or I did the super special like workout regimen. And a lot of the key, like a lot of the basics when it comes to our health and our lifestyle are just foundational things. It's hydration, it's sun exposure, it's getting an adequate amount of, the food, carbohydrates, fiber, protein, looking at our blood sugar spikes. Everybody's different, obviously, if you have something more um, specific relative to your health, but I really believe in you putting your focus back into your health. Lynn says, good evening. I am new to all of this. I plan on purchasing my 2023 planner tomorrow. I love your energy and how you make this seem effortless. Much love and peace to you. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Um, Rena says travel. Travel is her answer to the question, if you couldn't fail in 2023, what would you focus on? Yes to travel. Yes. Asha says, saving as much as possible. I have a serious problem with spending. First step is acknowledging it. So that's really good. Um, I don't know if it's helpful at all, but I annoy my friends with how much I talk about Reddit. But Reddit has so many subsections of it where there are communities dedicated to the most specific niche thing. And there's a subreddit, if you aren't already aware of it, Asha, called personal finance. And on that personal finance subreddit, like literally Google Reddit personal finance, there's so many resources. It's an amalgamation of, imagine like forums that have been going on for years where people specifically were talking about their personal finances, specifically talking about saving, specifically talking about tackling debt, tackling credit, tackling all of those things. And they not only shared what worked for them, but their personal experience. Go on personal finance. You'll find a lot of good resources. Um, Maybe you already know about it. I don't want to like what's the equivalent of mansplaining if you're a woman? I don't want to do that, but anyway, Chloe says, if I couldn't fail in 2023, I would focus on my overall health. It is something I've been trying to work on for a long time and have been struggling to stay on track with. It's hard, man. I don't know if this resonates with anybody, but relative to my health, something that helped me with like walking more, eating certain foods that I needed to eat more, was not committing to like, I'm going to do this every day. It was committing to, I'm going to do this 2 to 3 times this week. And whether I do it all at the beginning of the week because I feel more motivated, or all at the end because I have more energy then, or it's equally distributed, whatever happens, that's my goal. And not committing to a structured schedule helped me so much. And it made me feel more confident about it. I don't know if that resonates, but that helps. Also, nutritionally, the crowd out method has also been very helpful. So when you go grocery shopping, things like that, try to get healthier alternatives to what you already like. Don't try to like fully replace everything. You know what I mean? Or specifically the crowd out method, eat what you already enjoy, just add healthier things to it. So if you're eating a certain meal and you're like, man, I need more fiber, add something with fiber to it. And try to even eat that first because that kind of like fills you up. And anyway, um, ooh, okay. Justine Meredith, becoming a yoga teacher and traveling. That sounds so nice. I traveled to Bali this year, and it was so cool seeing so many people who were in a yoga teacher training program while also there working on themselves in in retreat mode. And it was really beautiful. I don't know if that resonates with you, but okay. Let's see. Um, okay, let's see. Christoph says, I'm working in the arts and culture position. I have a final interview next week. Oh, okay, Christoph, wishing you the best. I'm building bridges between creatives and those who need slash value creativity in their lives. My soul work. Yes. Really wishing you the best with that. Alana says, cultivating my career where I am creating slash performing and sharing my voice with the masses to lift us up and liberate ourselves. Yes. Yes. Man, we're in good company, aren't we, y'all? Like, it's just really nice to see that. For any of y'all who are new to the chat, I just want to repeat that I'm reading the answers to the final prompt of the night, the journaling prompt, which is pinned at the top of the chat right now. If you have your Auralign planner, you can also go to it in your planner. And the prompt is, if you couldn't fail in 2023, what would you focus on? Okay. Okay, I'm going to read a few more and then we're going to go ahead and get into our visualization. So, as I'm reading these, if you haven't already, think of an intention that you have for 2023. It doesn't have to be a specific one. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this new diet, I'm going to do this. It can literally, and probably the most powerful thing that you could focus on is it could be a feeling. Because the root of all of these manifestations and all of these things is how we feel physically. Our body is the motor that manifests these things, the intentions and how it makes us feel, the vibrations that we feel when we are um accessing, when we actually get what we want. Our goal is to match that vibration because like attracts like. That's how we attract what we want, right? And also, even if you don't even believe in that, if you're like, okay, this little woo, when you get into the mental state of where you would be, how you want to feel, it can oftentimes be a lot easier to think about, how do I actually get to that point? Because we are then at that vibrational level of where we want to be. So it's a lot easier to kind of think how we would think in that moment, think how our higher selves would be. Does that make sense? Comment if that resonates. Anyway, I'm going to read a few more, but as I do, go ahead and think about what you want to visualize as we wrap up this live and do a collective visualization, brief collective visualization meditation of what we want to create for ourselves and for the world in 2023. So Adept says, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, food, clothing, shelter, love, peace, and happiness. Mm, love, love, love. Majesty says their challenge from this year was realizing that I actually have used school as a distraction from my trauma. Lesson was an acknowledgement to the many ways that I have changed and how much I must reroute myself towards passion. That's really interesting. That is really, I got to tell you, a lot of people go into school and oftentimes because a lot of societal pressures, we lie to ourselves and we don't really want to face that mirror of like, oh, I'm here because of something outside of myself and not because I actually want to be here. So I commend you on facing that within yourself and being open to the lessons of that. Oh, Emily, peace. You said you're heading out for the night. Okay. Um okay, so Kim Green says, if I couldn't fail in 2023, I would focus on pursuing learning nutritional therapy, astrology, tarot crystal, and essential oils as an occupation to help people using spiritual gifts and purpose. Yes. Ah! Yo, I kind of want to maybe not in this video, but I want to link a really good video that talks about the history of what we now deem as a witch and how that actually stems from like what we now call a witch and what is called like all these stereotypes of like we're on a broom and they have a mole and they're ah, ha, 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 and they have the familiars. A lot of that was created to demonize female and male, just people in general, leaders in their communities who were actually medicine women, who are actually the wise medicine women of their community. So I find it to be no coincidence that there are so many people not only interested in nutrition, but also interested in the metaphysical world and understanding how we can utilize, literally, as alchemists, utilize the different elements through nutrition, through fire, cooking, air, water, earth, utilizing all the elements to alchemize, to heal our communities. I think that there's no coincidence in that, and that a lot of people, and that we are all feeling, a lot of us are feeling called to learn more about that, whether that is for a profession or learning about it for our personal lives to better our lives and our families' lives. So I think that that's really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop there, y'all. And let's go ahead. And now I'm going to go ahead and um, I'll guess I will leave this pin up actually. I'm going to leave this question pinned to the top of the live chat for anybody who's new and wants to reread that. And we're going to go ahead and now move into visualization. So I'm going to go ahead and guide us through a brief visualization um, of the intentions that we have for 2023, whether that's a specific moment, a specific situation, a specific feeling. Maybe that's as basic, as fundamental as just peace. Like maybe that's a feeling of abundance, like feeling like I want for nothing. Like I'm at peace right now. Maybe that's a feeling of whatever it is, because, and the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of times what we want to manifest, the root of that is feeling happy. The root of that is feeling validated, feeling seen, feeling love, feeling peace, feeling abundance, feeling protection. A lot of that is those things. So sorry, y'all. There's something in my eye. Oh, it's alive. I can't edit this out. Ignore me for a moment. Anyway, okay. So go ahead and have that at the forefront of your mind. I'm gonna grab my Tibetan singing bowl. One moment. I'm like, ugh. I'm too excited, y'all. Okay, vibe check. I'm checking the chat. Okay, completely resonates. I'm glad. Oh, nice, Robert. You're working towards practicing Reiki. Yes. Roxanne, you said early retirement to focus on family who I want to support through challenging times. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a good question. Majesty asked, could you possibly reword the question? The wording has me confused. Okay, so the question for this prompt was if you couldn't fail in 2023, what would you focus on? So the reason why I asked that was because basically it was to aid you in bypassing any potential limiting beliefs you might have of what you are capable of. And I say that because I feel like a lot of times we can have a goal or an idea of something that we want to do or that really resonates with us or that we feel called to do, but then there's sometimes a little voice in our head that's like, "Oh, but that's over there. That's too far away." Or, but are you really going to follow up with that?" Or, that sounds really time consuming. You know what I mean? And a lot of the voice in our head, oftentimes that isn't even from us. That's from people in our past who said limiting things to us because they didn't believe in themselves. So then they projected onto us. It could be society. So the reason why I asked it in that way, what if you couldn't fail in 2023, what would you focus on? It was to help you kind of access what your what your dream or your intention might be without overthinking it or allowing limiting beliefs to kind of cloud that, if that makes sense. That's the point of me asking it in that way. But generally speaking, the question really is like what do you want to focus on in 2023? Like what do you feel called to do? It's as simple as that. I hope that that makes sense. Majesty, okay. Got it. Got it. Okay. Erica said, "Oh, I just came just in time. You grabbed your bowl and so did I." Okay, you know what? Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So, for anybody who needs a refresher, anybody who might be new to the chat, we are kind of wrapping up. We are now wrapping up the journaling prompt part of the video, and we will now be going into a brief visualization of our intention. So, let's go ahead and settle in. If you aren't already, invite you to get into a comfortable seated position. You can have your palms resting on your lap, with them resting faced up so you can feel lifted for a more open mind, open to receiving. Or your palms can be face down if you want to feel a little bit more grounded. Let's begin. Go ahead and start with a gentle breath in through the nose and release steadily through the mouth. Let's take another steady breath in through the nose, paying attention to the air and how it feels as it enters the lungs. And release. Let's take another steady breath in, focusing on filling the belly this time. You can have your hand over the belly if you'd like. Big breath in. And release. Allowing the shoulders to rest and roll back. Continuing on with these breaths, allow each exhale to let your body sink deeper into your seat. Beautiful. I now invite you to gently shift your awareness inward to the imagination. I invite you to visualize the moment you get what you want, a moment in which you are living your manifestation, you are living your goal. How do you feel in this moment? Breathe in to the feeling. When you're ready, I invite you to repeat this affirmation after me. I am worthy. I am capable. I am divine. I am aligned. Beautiful. Let's take another deep breath in together, in through the nose, and release. Continue on with these breaths, staying in the moment of your visualization or checking in with the body in this moment. When you're ready, I invite you to gently bring your awareness back to the room. You can gently wiggle your toes, maybe roll your neck, and when it feels right, open your eyes. All right, how are we feeling? I'd like to see it in the chat. Let's do a vibe check. I feel like even though that meditation was brief, the visualization was brief, the overarching sense that I felt was it's already yours. It's already yours. And that resonated on a few levels. One, a lot of times the feelings that we want, the things that we want, um, there's this innate, or maybe it's more societal um, reaction of, I need to go seek it outside of myself. And I feel like when I heard that, it's already yours, it was on one note, it's already yours in that we already have a lot of what we seek within us, but also we are divinely aligned. We are divinely aligned with the energy that we put out, with who we are, with what our mind expects to happen, um, with what is in alignment with our actions. So, anyway, okay, let's see. Okay, I see assured, sublime. I feel great now. Nexus 66. How you doing, man? Oh, Kayla, I appreciate that. Kayla says, Alina, this whole thing has been fantastic. I would love to see more lives if you have the time for them. Alana, the divinely aligned really hit different. I'm glad that resonated with you. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad we did this, y'all. I'm so glad we did this. Like, I cannot, yeah, I'm first, like really quick before we dive into the Q&A and everything, like y'all can ask any questions. Let's have conversation. Whatever y'all want to talk about, we'll talk about. Whether it's questions about the planners, advice, anything. Like I'm here. I'd love to talk. And if y'all want to share your advice too, we can help one another. Let's do it. Um, but what was I saying? Oh, I just that I really plan on doing more lives like these. I think that what I want to do is doing it seasonally. So if you have your Auralign planner, you'll see that there are seasonal reflection sections for every single season of the year, and it has the holistic health wheel in each one. And I think that it would be really healthy for us to come together collectively and check in again from a holistic perspective of like all the different areas of our life and stuff like that. Like I think that that would be really beautiful, and I would love to be able to do that. For us to support one another so we feel less alone when it comes to maybe some challenges that we're experiencing, and we can feel more inspired when we see how other people met those challenges and how other people, how sharing our highlights. So anyway, definitely planning on doing more lives. So yeah, I'm actually considering doing a Patreon, because it's a lot of work, y'all. I'm going to be real, it's a lot of work. So it'd be kind of cool to have like a closed community where we can do all this stuff, but either way it's going to happen for sure. Look out for it, y'all. Okay, y'all. Um, mm, okay. I just want to acknowledge what Jennifer slowly says. Greetings from the UK. I would like to feel less isolated, both at work and home in 2023. If I were guaranteed to success, it would be to happily move on from a heartbreaking breakup and have more inner peace and light. I'm wishing that for you, Jennifer. Absolutely. And I think that that is absolutely doable. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Okay, y'all, we made it. We made it. Ah, we made it. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about this live because I haven't done one in a while and there's a lot going on. So we did it. Let's go. Okay, next up, I want to open the floor for any questions that anybody has. So, like, maybe if you have your planner and you're like, how do I use this section? Or if you have any questions about, like, hey, like you're a YouTuber, I want to do YouTube, like, any advice on content creation, or maybe like, I want to do something spiritual, and anything that I can't answer, like, it'd be really cool to see if anybody has a a useful perspective in the chat as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna put it's Q&A time. Ask away. Okay. So I'm gonna pin that for anybody who's new here. We're doing a Q&A. Now we're doing Q&A. Okay. Okay. So I see the question. Do you have any advice for letting an old cycle die out? And what are ways to detox to encourage rebirth and new beginnings? Well, that's a pretty broad question. I think it depends on what it is. It's letting an old cycle die out. I think that if we look to nature, if we look to the wisdom of nature, cycles, cycles of nature, that being maybe the cycle of the year, or phases of the seasons, or phases of the moon, they all are just that, they are phases. It's not day and night. So, first off, letting go of the expectation that we're going to immediately be changed, that we're immediately going to start a new chapter like a book. Letting go of that expectation will be very helpful for embracing the steady process that is phasing into a new cycle. And I think that a powerful way to do that, a helpful way that's, to me, relatively practical, is focusing on embracing that next cycle, embracing what that next cycle will be. So, for example, maybe a part of the cycle that you want involves more love or more community. So, embracing the avenues that get you to that point right now. So, maybe that's like being on more group chats, more more online forums of people who are in your area or people who are interested in the same things as you. Looking for all of the avenues and opportunities that will connect you to that destination and focusing on that, I think will help you with phasing out from old cycles. Sometimes letting go of a cycle as well. Like sometimes that involves having clear boundaries. If that's with another human being or a person, I like in the past, like I've had like toxic cycles that I needed to let go of that I was also very aware of. Like I was very aware. I was like, this needs to end, but I'm also in it. Like, how do I get to that point? And at least for me, when it involved other people who maybe weren't on the same page of like separating or letting go of a cycle, having clear boundaries, sometimes that unfortunately involves blocking certain people or just not replying anymore. And for me, I personally had to work on distinguishing between empathizing with people because it was like, "Oh, I empathize with you, so I'm gonna stay in the cycle with you." And recognizing that it's possible to empathize with people and what they're going through while also setting a boundary and putting yourself first and your peace first and your priority to start a new cycle first. I don't know if that resonates, but hopefully that. The question was basically like how to go into a new cycle and let go of an old one. Okay. Okay. Any tips on being more consistent? Asked Assertive Tarot. Um, I would love for anybody to comment this as well. But consistency for me has been very difficult. Like, y'all, the fact that I post videos regularly about the full and new moon, like, like if you told past me that I was doing that and I actually did it consistently for multiple years, I would have been like, what? Um, I at least for me, consistency has not been helpful for me, even with designing these planners. I love these planners. I've changed my life in a lot of different ways. I still don't have a structured schedule or a consistent way of doing anything, but I was still able to do what I wanted to do. And for me, that looked like um that looked like setting an intention for the week or for the month and allowing myself to do it when the time was right, whether that was like I felt like doing it at that time, but I had the intention to do it for that week. Does that make sense? So like for example, like I want to be more consistent with eating certain things to help with the nutrients that I need for my body, or I want to be more consistent with working out, right? My whole life, I don't know if this resonates, I had a hard time showing up every single day at a certain time to do something. But I was still able to do it. And that was through saying and that was through saying like this week I'm going for a walk 2 to 3 times this week. I'm not deciding the day or I'm going for a walk twice this week, once this week. But it's through making a promise with yourself as basic as it is, starting there literally for the first month. Starting there, that's when you build confidence in yourself because you kept a promise with yourself. And it's really that piece, that psychological piece that actually makes you feel more empowered to keep going. The other piece that I can only speak from my experience. And my experience is momentum, inertia, the power of inertia. Start with one thing as basic as it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Like if you I highly recommend the book Atomic Habit. It talks about this in detail, but there is evidence to the psychology of say you want to go to the gym. Um just promising that you're literally going to drive to the gym. You don't have to go in. Just promise that you're going to drive there. Maybe it's like I'm going to whatever it is that you want to be consistent with, don't do the whole thing. Maybe it's like, man, I really need to do this. Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, I said I would commit. Commit to 10 minutes of it. Commit to 5 minutes of it. Anyway, these are all examples of the core idea of momentum. Starting small. The problem with resolutions is that people expect that a train is going to go from 0 to 100 from December 31st to the 1st. It's a process. It takes time to build momentum. It takes time for a train to to start chugga 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 chugga. Like it takes time to haul ass and get to the speed that you want to be at. So accepting that momentum needs to be built is important. What I'm doing now When I first started YouTube, I didn't have the stamina to do all this. I didn't have the capacity to be talking like this. It started with one video at a time. It with walking. Now I walk 3 to 4 times a week. It started with walking once a week. It's the small steps. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I hope that answered the question. Okay, next. Okay, La Marie said good night. Good night. Ooh, okay. Maya said, um, random thought, but curious of your use and collection of crystals, Lena. I honestly, like, as of late, I've been mainly using selenite. I've been using it as a wand to literally cast protective circles around me. I enjoy selenite. I've gotten a few, um, what is it? Is it onyx? It's not in this room. I got a few, um, obsidian and onyx, black onyx, I believe. But I'm not like super duper deep into it, so I'm sure that there's people in this live that are like more versed on it. But I got those two things, selenite specifically to amplify my intentions, and then obsidian, black onyx. Those two I've been using as protection. I moved recently, and I just wanted to feel a little bit more protected. Felt like I had a crystal that could really absorb any negative energy and protect me. Not a crystal, but I've also been really enjoying wearing more evil eye jewelry around anybody that I might feel any bad vibes with. Not that I feel any bad vibes with y'all. I just actually like this, and I was just wearing it. Okay. Next question. Oh, thank you, Danielle. I just read your question. Your comment. You're very welcome. Um, cool. Okay, Radiate Higher said, "How do you get started on YouTube? I really want to relaunch my channel in 2023, but I'm worried I don't have the time or the right setting to film." Okay, I love telling people this. First of all, like you don't need special equipment, especially now. Like people were saying this before when I feel like the trend was having like really high production videos, but now like I feel like even more so now, you do not need high production stuff. Like you can, especially with the quality of phones now, if you have a good window, there's a lot of very prominent YouTubers who literally have millions of views, and they record their videos in front of an open window, like a window with the blinds open to have natural lighting, and it looks so natural and effortless. And that's how they do it. When I record my videos, it's natural lighting. So I just want to really emphasize that you don't need a lot of that stuff. And I feel like kind of, I don't know, I can't speak for you, but I can only speak for myself and people that I've worked with in the past and friends that I've had. I feel like a lot of times, waiting to have the perfect equipment, waiting to have like the perfect everything is oftentimes a coping mechanism. It's kind of like an avoidance mechanism to avoid just getting it done. And going back to the whole thing about building momentum, you just want to start. And also, you want to start and you want to embrace the fact there's power in the fact that nobody's watching you. I will speak, I mean, again, I keep on saying I only speak for myself. I'm not going to keep on saying that, but like, there's a lot of people who are very successful and who want to pivot. They want to restart their channel. They want to change the type of videos that they make, and they are so scared to do it because there's so many eyes on them. They're so afraid to be creative. They're so afraid to just get messy and see what works. And I just encourage you to embrace the newness, embrace the fact that you're starting out again, in that you can be creative and you don't have to worry too much about like how people are going to perceive you necessarily. Everybody's different. Like you can still feel that way at any point, but there's that. The first thing that I would recommend strategically relative to like social media, different social media platforms, the algorithm, blah, blah, blah. I The number one thing that I would recommend for anybody who's starting YouTube brand new is get into YouTube Reels and TikToks. And I say that because this is a tried and true pattern in social media. This is something that was seen literally 5 years ago and even 10 years ago. When a new social media platform comes out that's just popping off, um, more established platforms will take those features, put it on their platform, and they will push views. They will push people who are utilizing that new feature because they want to be competitive. So, an example of that is um, when Snapchat was popping off, Instagram introduced Instagram stories. And anybody who was posting on stories was promoted more because Instagram wanted to encourage people to use that new feature because they were being competitive. So there's that one element. The other element to that is that even if you aren't even on TikTok or anything, if you're posting on Reels, that actually increases more visibility in comparison to long form videos oftentimes. So you can actually get more exposure to more people in that way to kind of introduce yourself to the community that you want to connect with. So there's that element of it. The last thing that I will say, if you are looking to do this long term, the biggest recommendation that I have is do what you love. Do what really resonates with you. And when you feel like the algorithm is pushing you to do this or do that, fight it, fight the system. Because there's a lot of people who are successful and who fall off because they get burnt out and because they kind of lose sight of that heart-centered energy. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. You see, I digress. I digress. Okay. I hope that resonated with you, Radiate Higher. Ali Ray asks, how do you work through the fear of failure for creating creative endeavors and or specific goals? I'm going to think about this for a second. How do you work through the fear of failure? At least, for me, it was a series of trial and error of doing things and feeling embarrassed and then kind of over time becoming a little desensitized to it. I'm still very self-conscious in a lot of ways. I don't, I feel like, oh, here's a great answer. You see, sometimes I feel like, I'm still getting used to live because without live, I can think about it, edit it, but I really want to give you a genuine answer. So I want to process it. Here's some encouraging words for you. The most successful people that you have ever seen on TV, on the internet, everywhere, they never talk about it because it's like this societal taboo. They have all failed so many times and so hard. I I failed arguably for like 3 years on YouTube. Like 3 or 4 years on YouTube. I was on YouTube for at least 3 or 4 years before I got any traction, before I found the community that actually resonated with what I was passionate about, that wasn't judging me for my spiritual interests, and it actually meant showed up as views and in a way that I could build a career around. For like 3 to 4 years, by a lot of people's accounts, I was a failure. But that was my process. And all that to say, you gotta get your hands dirty, you gotta get your feet wet, like, every failure is a lesson, like, that's a part of the process of creativity. Like, if you imagine a painter who's figuring out the Mona Lisa or, like, the most perfect painting ever, we only see the end product, but they had to mess up, they had to fuck up, sorry for cursing, but they had to mess up multiple times to kind of get their groove, to kinda figure out where their voice is, like, it's like jazz, it's a dance. And the dance, it has to involve failure. If that makes sense? I don't know. I hope that also, y'all comment, like, literally hit the add button and respond to Ali Ray with anything that might resonate with you or that you feel might resonate with them. Oh, how do you create your intro music for your YouTube videos? I use Epidemic Sounds. So on their website, you can have like a monthly membership, and that gives you access to all the video, all the audio, like music. But if you don't want to pay, YouTube actually has a free resource with copyright free music. So I hope that answered that question. Literally Google like YouTube copyright free music, and they have a whole database for you to access. And then if you don't want to do that, there are YouTube channels dedicated to sharing small artists who are trying to get their music out there. So they make it copyright free, so you can put it on your videos. You just have to look up on the YouTube copyright free music. It could be copyright free lo-fi, copyright free hip hop, copyright free orchestra, instrumentals, piano, anything like that. Yeah. Nexodus said people need special spaces to connect and share. Absolutely. I hope to definitely do this more. Oh no, I lost my spot. Oh, it updated and then it showed me like the newer comments. I'm gonna scroll. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Oh, thanks, Craig. I appreciate your comment. Craig said, "Thanks for this growth period. Until next month going live, the community of sharing was very powerful." Oh, Miss Holly wants to join the live. Okay. Oh, okay. Rena's asked, "Where can I get more info on my birth/natal chart?" You know what? I've enjoyed so many websites, so many apps. Some of them I've gotten rid of, some of them I've circled back to. And the first one that comes to mind that I've circled back to that I've really been enjoying has been the Pattern app. I really like it because um not only does it show your chart, every single house, it shows your overall, natal chart in every single house, but they explain it. They also explain current events astrologically and how they specifically impact you based off of what house, your moon might be in, or your Saturn and Mercury, any of that. So I personally like that. Y'all comment what websites you like to look at your natal charts with. Um, and Craig, I think the newest comments should be that. Okay. Or no, Rena. Okay, Kim Green, what do you do with your planners and journals when you're finished with them? They can really accumulate. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing. If you have a lot of them, it'll be a little bit harder. But at least for me, I keep mine on my bookshelf. I literally keep mine on my bookshelf with my books because it's like a book to me. I get to pull it out and read it as if it's a book. And specifically with planners, that's one of the reasons why in all since 2022, since I moved to the vegan leather bound, on all of them it says the year on it, so you can have it on your bookshelf and you can literally pull it out and read, like, oh, what was my daily gratitude in January of 2022? Like, what was my top intention? Like, what did I write for my new moon intentions in March? You know what I mean? So I personally keep it on my bookshelf, but if you have a lot of them, just kind of pick and choose which ones maybe that you want to access more often. But that's specifically why I made it that way with the Auralign Planner anyway. That's why I designed it that way, to make it so it's more aesthetically pleasing and a lot more fun to access and more easily access specifically different memories from different seasons and months. So I don't know. Um, okay. DMKC, ideas on creating content on Instagram and YouTube in a schedule. So, okay, so this can be done in a few ways. There's a lot of different apps and websites that can help you with planning out your content. For example, what's the one that I use? Oh, Planoly. Planoly. So it's Plan OLY. That's a really good site for putting pre-uploading all of your Instagram posts so you can kind of plan out the order that you want them to be in. But you know what? I'll put it very simply because I can't think of it like a straight answer for you right now. There's this podcast, it's called Boss Babes. I know the name sounds kind of like maybe cringe now, like Boss Babes, like girl boss. But that podcast, they don't have any fluff. They get straight to the point on how to create content in alignment with how you want to show up in the world, content in alignment with maybe what your business is or what generally you want to talk about. You can also do kind of like market research. So, for example, on YouTube, what's really cool about the YouTube search engine is that when you go up and you look up something, it auto completes it for you, and it auto completes it based off of your top what is searched up the most. So, for example, if you want to make videos on nutrition, you could type in health benefits of, and then see what auto completes, and it shows you the top search topics. So it could be health benefits of ginger, health benefits of um any food. You get what I mean? So that can be a good way to do market research. Another good way is if you are in the service-based industry and you have clients or anything like that, learning about who your potential clients are. Like, what are their pain points? What do they want to learn more about? um A great example is I have a friend who's a nutritionist and she focuses mainly on blood sugar regulations and diabetic patients and clients. And so that's what her content is about. She brainstorms usually once a month, like what are some topics relative to blood sugar regulation that I could talk about. So like, oh, I'll talk about desserts and how to have dessert, have what you love while also regulating your blood sugar. Like I could talk about the difference between you get what I mean. I don't know if that resonates, but I hope it did. Cool. Nicole. Next year, I plan to buy a device that tracks and eliminates bad habits. It's expensive though. Oh, interesting. That'd be cool to learn about. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Tia Morris asked, question related to the planner. Any guidance on how to best leverage the seasonal holistic health wheel? Many thanks for this session. Absolutely. I would love to talk about that. Okay. So let's turn to the holistic health wheel. So what I personally recommend is if you're filling out everything, if you just open up the planner and you're like, and you want to fill out like, oh, like I'm setting my intentions for the year. What are my new goals? Blah, 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 blah. I personally recommend going to the winter reflection page first and filling that out first because you're reflecting. So you're reflecting on the previous season when you're filling out that reflection page. So I'm going to be better at communicating this in future designs. But even though and I'm closing this because I actually wrote answers. Wait, let me get my sample one. Sorry, y'all. Is this it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Ah, a book fell. Okay. So let me turn to the winter reflections page. Okay. So to get the most out of this, I would recommend filling it out and then answering the questions. If anything resonates with you, continuing on, in the lined pages, and then after you've reflected on the fall season in 2022 from in that section, then going to the get clear section, then writing out your intentions like we did in this live stream. And then let's see. And so, okay, so that's what I would do for the beginning of the year. But generally, if you're in the winter reflection section, the spring reflection, summer, whatever, fill this out, right? The whole intention of this is for you to reflect and get clarity on what worked and what didn't work in the previous season. That way, when you go on to the seasonal alignment section, the winter alignment section, you have that context. You can then set your goals with that context. That's my intention behind having the holistic health wheel first, and then you write out what your intentions are. And so the reason why I have in the winter alignment section, so for any of y'all who don't already know, there's the winter reflection section, which is what we did with the holistic health wheel, where you reflect on the previous season, what worked, what didn't work. Then there is the seasonal or winter alignment section, where you write out all of your ideas for the season. And then there's, actionable steps chart where it's December, January, February, March. So my goal here is that you think big. You think, what do I want to do for the entire season of winter? Like broadly, like what's my intention for the winter? So let's say, for example, my intention for the winter is movement. I just want to do more movement. Like I want to learn new ways that I can move my body. So maybe that's your big mantra. Like my winter mantra is movement, right? Then in December, January, February, and March, maybe in December, I'll focus on like yoga for that month. Like I'm just gonna watch some yoga videos and maybe do a few times a week. That's my focus in the month. In February or January, I'm gonna walk more. February, I'm going to try maybe Pilates, see how that works. And so each month can have a different goal, right? And then in the monthly alignment section, from the seasonal to the monthly, you can narrow down all those things, get more granular. So my intention here is that you start big and then get specific. Because when we start big, it's a lot easier, it's a lot more approachable. it's easier for us to kind of visualize the vibe of it all, you know what I mean? It's like the vision board phase. Like, what do I want my season to look like? And then for the month of January, and you can go from setting your goals from the months into setting your goals specifically for the month of January for each week. So, for example, for the month of January, we said we're going to walk, right? That's my general focus in terms of movement. That's my theme for this season. Okay, I'm going to walk in January. Okay, week 1, I'm going to walk for like 1 to 2 times for the first week. Just to kind of get a feel for it, see like do I like podcasts when I walk? Do I like week 2, I'm going to increase that by 2 more. Week 3, increase that. Week 4, I'm going to invite some friends to go walking with me. And so that's kind of the point of that, if that makes sense. And I think that's how you would get the most benefit out of the seasonal reflections pages. Like using it to reflect on what worked and what didn't work. What areas do I really want to focus on for this new season? Getting clear on your seasonal goals and then narrowing it down. This is like, remember how I was talking to y'all about how like when some one of y'all asked me like, how do I stay consistent? That's my secret, y'all. I'm not always consistent, but one thing I will tell you is I come back. I return back. I feel like that feels so salesy. I'm not trying to sell it. Like that feels very salesy. I'm like, this is literally like why I made this planner. I come back to my notes. I come back to my notes. I come back to my North Star. Life happens. It's okay. We get distracted by things like stuff happens, right? I get distracted all the time. I forget what I was doing all the time. But when I write it out, not only does it reduce my stress, the feeling like, oh, I wanted to do that one thing. I keep on forgetting. I know it's written down. I know it's written down. So I can chill. But that's my North Star. I just want this to be like a North Star for you. Even if you forget, just go back. Like, that's what my seasonal goal was. Like, oh, that's what I wanted to do. And that's your North Star to just come back to the practice. Even if you fall off, even if you do a little less, come back to it. Okay. I hope that answered your question, Tia. Tia Morris. I love your name. Okay, Nicole Hansen, key tip about crystals. If you use the wrong ones together, it can wreak havoc on your life. Some Indian websites will tell you which planets are your friends or enemies. So look, okay. Thank you for that advice, Nicole. That's really interesting. Erica says, I flirt with the idea of doing shorts here on YouTube. I doodle and keep thinking about doing shorts or TikTok, but the thought is around Mercury retrograde, lol. But any advice on either platform or journey in general? Yeah, definitely. Whether it's because I know not everybody feels safe on TikTok because there's a lot of surveillance. There's surveillance on most of the apps to begin with. It's just that it's from China specifically. But regardless of which platform you want to do, I personally recommend starting with Reels or TikToks or YouTube Shorts, whatever social media's version of TikTok is, to kind of get your feet wet. Because the thing about short form content is that because it's so short and because the algorithm is choosing what people watch, you actually get a lot more exposure to people more rapidly than in long form videos. So I think that's a good way to get exposure to new communities and get a feel for what works and what doesn't work for you. And then making that long form content when it feels right as well um, can be helpful. That's just my perspective, but everyone's different. No pressure on what you want to do. Oh, Tabitha, you said you had that book. Maybe you were commenting on Atomic Habit. Okay, Coley said, not a question, but more of a thought. I think we throw around the word toxic too much. People mess up and make mistakes. It's inevitable. We all do. We need to work on our egos and practice compassion. Yeah, you're right. It's like, yeah, you're right. Saying toxic, calling people toxic is a very definitive statement. It's saying that it's kind of saying like you are, always have been, and always will be this type of person, kind of. And you're right. You're right. I feel like more vocabulary that's more open and acknowledges the reality that we all have the capacity to grow is that like this person has some toxic tendencies, or they did something, maybe something toxic. Because I do think that there is such thing as toxic actions that can be very harmful to people. That's like a part of the definition of toxicity is that it's harmful to others. So I don't know. Yeah. Oh, oh, I like that. Nicole says, my success came from repeating, I can do it, and sticking to the task till it's done. Man, I want to do a video all about mantras and the power of reinforcing self belief in what we're capable of because, yeah, man, that's very powerful. Hmm. Good night, lady. The monster wins. When there's something that consistently upsets you. Okay, when there's something that consistently upsets you and is never going away, is it okay to avoid it? Or should you just keep struggling to accept it? I don't know. It depends on the situation, but I mean, one might argue that having space away from what triggers you is what can give you the mental space to actually finally process it. It can be hard to process things when we're still in it. You know what I mean? So I don't think you should feel guilty for wanting to have some space away from something that triggers you, um, to allow yourself to, in a more peaceful sense, maybe process it and figure out in a less fight or flight mode, how to better navigate it when it does come around, if that makes sense. Nicole Hansen. Also, remember that motivation comes after action, not before it. Get busy, and motivation is sure to follow. I couldn't agree more. Goes back to inertia, it goes back to momentum. Like, most of the time we have to be in action first, and then that confidence builds because on a deeper subconscious level our brain is paying attention, and it's like, oh, we can do that. Like, oh, we did that, why not try a little bit more, versus I'm going to wait until I am fully capable to do this really big action. Like, no, it's like in order to build momentum we have to start sometimes small and then build upon that. Caprice Roland says, looking forward to working more with you in the new year. Looking forward to collecting my planner when I get home. Sending love and light. Sending love and light right back to you. Okay, y'all. My throat is literally, my vocal cords are literally sore from talking a lot. And we've been doing this for 2 hours and 48 minutes. I cannot believe it. So I think I'm actually going to end this here. Uh, okay, no, wait, there's one more question. This is a good one. D Light Beam. Advice on stepping out of the spiritual broom closet. How did you dissolve the release the imposter syndrome, overcome limiting beliefs, and create your content without fear? Ah, what a question, man. What a question. For me, it was a process. Like I was mainly doing nutrition videos on this channel for a very long time while also having a spiritual awakening behind the scenes. And I came from a very religious background, a religious background that specifically demonized, um, taking the abilities of manifesting into our own hands, like demonizing that, demonizing anything that fell within the category of the, stereotype of being a witch. And so for a long time, I didn't really get into that. And for me, I started small. Like I started with meditations. I started with full moon and new moon meditations on my channel. And to be honest, this is the same with my. I don't know if y'all know this, but I started an annual outdoor wellness conference. It's called Wellness Con. You can Google it. But I started a conference. Same thing with that, which was a huge turning point in my life, huge growth in my life, career wise, all this stuff. Same with YouTube. I didn't tell people. I didn't share what I was doing with anybody that I felt would judge me because something clicked in my brain and I realized like it's not fully my responsibility to convince people of anything. Um and also, I'm not gonna lie, I was still afraid of their judgment, so it also benefited me not to tell them what I was doing because then I didn't feel like I was judged. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm here and you just got to be confident. Like no, it was hard for me for a while. So one of the things that I did was I didn't share my intentions with anybody who I felt was going to judge me, anybody who I felt wasn't going to share in my vision. And that was partially to protect the vision. And I think that that's partially what helped me to actually create it because I didn't share it with people who didn't believe in it. So that's one thing. But also, like, I steadily went into it. I didn't immediately go into what I'm doing now. I don't know if that helps, but if you're the type of person, if you're similar to me that kind of needs to steadily break into things, steadily transition into things, that's how it worked for me. And in terms of like family and friends and stuff like that, they all accept me as I am now, even more so than they used to. And, for some people, they're also deconstructing a lot of brainwashing around spirituality for themselves. And they're also going through a journey. And so, accepting that they were on a journey, but also not putting energy into wanting their validation because I recognize that they were on their own journey and keeping my heart and what I was passionate about to myself um, is what helped me with the transition because then I did it long enough that I built up that confidence and that sense of self so that when they did come around and that they were kind of curious, I could confidently kind of talk to them about it. So um Oh, also imposter syndrome, something that I learned that really resonated with me. A lot of times imposter syndrome is not even a you problem. It's a reflection of society constantly telling us that we're not good enough. And basically, like what has helped me with imposter syndrome is recognizing that it's not a me problem, not internalizing like, "Oh, I have imposter syndrome." It's been recognizing I'm deconstructing the lies that society told me that I didn't belong in certain rooms and that I didn't deserve certain things or that um, I shouldn't be talking about my success so loud, or I shouldn't put myself out there. For me, um, releasing imposter syndrome was deconstructing, doing research into, and better understanding, dismantling the infrastructure that is misogynoir, sexism, and really just societally wanting to put down people who are trying to like openly be who they are outside of like societal norms. Like you get what I mean? Like it's not a you problem. It's a societal problem most of the time when we feel like we're not enough or that we shouldn't inhabit certain spaces. So anyway. Oh, I got a donation. What? SV. Hey, good to see you again, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. Yo, wait, wait. Is this Sergio? Wait, no. Is this from wait, you're from my high school. Wait. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm freaking out right now. What's up, man? What's good? Anyway, yes. Yo, okay. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. We got to reconnect. We got to reconnect. That's wild, man. That's wild. Um, okay. Yo, and you donated? What are you doing, bro? Like, you didn't have to do that. That's so sweet. That's crazy. Okay. Um, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, y'all. I'm so tired. Um, I'm I just want to I'm sending I'm sending you I'm sending you my love. Anyone who is on this live right now, I just want to remind you that you are enough. You are more than capable. You are more than worthy. And I am here to support you. Like, this is what this is for. I'm here to support you in aligning with your highest intentions of 2023. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves to be this perfect person on day one of January. This is a transition. We are in alignment with the seasons. The season slowly fades into the new one. We are slowly phasing into what our intentions are. We are all capable of growth. We are all capable of accessing what we need. And that's it. Okay. And last but not least, I will wrap this up with my favorite quote, and that is be gentle with yourself because life is about the journey and not the destination. Okay. Bye, y'all. This was so fun. This was so fun. Bye. I don't even know how to end this.